still awake?
Yes.
So thank you from the first two speakers. Maayo kayo, no?
Yes.
Okay naman. So let's go into the main topic. So what are PLC? Later, Mr. Giovanni. Mas next na maka-answer na ganako. So what are PLCs? So unsa din ang PLC? In your own idea, in your own words, what are PLCs? Renz, Mr. Renz, what do you think are PLCs in your own idea?
These are different learning competencies na ma-acquire sa learners.
Thank you, Mr. Andoado. These are different competencies na ma-acquire sa learners. That could be also, but are you familiar ba mo ng PLC or professional learning communities? I think karon na matagadungog na no? Most of us karon man naka-encounter na. So, what does PLC stand for? Professional learning communities. So basically, these are a group of educators that meets regularly, share expertise, and works collaboratively to improve teaching skills and the academic performance of students. So sa amuang school, it's not, in some schools, these are called professional learning communities. And in some schools, lahi po ng ilang tawag, but basically the system is the same. So once a week, at least once a week, sa amuang school, at least once a week, they meet together, tanan teachers, and then they collaborate with and discuss about the students that needs remediation, ang mga students na paspas, kinsa na students ang hinay, kanina subject na ko, hinay si Ani, and then in your subject, unsa man na. So anong kinahanglan man na mag-professional learning communities? Why not stick to now? So next slide, please. So first, the purposes of professional learning communities. What do they serve? Number one, to improve the skills and knowledge of educators. And number two, improving the educational aspirations, achievement, and attainment of students. So when you say professional learning community, it does not involve the teacher alone. So dili lang ikaw as future teacher. If kita teachers na napohon, when you go into a PLC, dili lang ni mag-focus nimo, but also about the students. So there are duha ang involved there, as you can see. First is the teachers, and then second one is the learners or the students. So first one is to improve the skills and knowledge of educators. And that is in the educators part. Na sa atong pag-collaborate with each one of us, ang atong skills and knowledge in teaching may improve. Because as fresh graduates, and some also the teachers nga dugay na, ang atong skills and knowledge mas stuck na ba, di ba? And as teachers, kinahanglan magsige o improve ang atong skills and knowledge to cope up with the students that we have. And then secondly, the students, the educational aspirations, achievement, and attainment. Do we all want that? Kinsa may gusto yes, maestra na yes, estudyante mahalbong, di ba?
Yes.
So we all meet together, saan man pagpasar aning bata, saan man nato pag-encourage ng bata, or saan may problema aning bata, and what potential does this child have? So did you get the purposes of professional learning communities?
Yes.
So why do we need to engage in professional learning communities? Number one. What is number one? Can we all read together? Reduction of the isolation of teachers. Thank you. So ano kinahanglan mo dyan mag-PLC? As you graduate, ang inyong tendency, di ba, mo belong mo ka ng bagong nga environment and then mag-inusara naman mo. Unsa yung nakita sa atong teachers karon? Di ba, mari sa eskwelahan, o niya mag-klase and then after mo uli. Di ba? Matog eskwelahan, mag-discuss, mag-klase and then uli. So ikaw raw sa work individualized gani. So you feel yourself isolated. And we don't want that in a professional learning community. We reduce the isolation of teachers. We gather together, we make friends, we build relationships, we collaborate with ideas to improve the school, the teaching and learning culture of the school. So as future teachers na fresh graduates, inyong self, if inyong i-isolate ang inyong self, unsa man inyong makuha, nabago pa man mo sa teaching community, di ba? Nabago pa man mo. So you need to interact with other teachers. Unsa po din yung makuha? Kaya kung atong klase karon, it's different in the real world out there. Di di ba? Our teachers can also witness that nga ato nakatunan sa classroom, kiningadto na makita na yung magklase in your demo lesson line na, di ba? Ulimta na rin mo yung ibang apply, ito mo ibang answer sa identification, di ba? Kung sa multiple choice, no? Ulimta na rin mo, no? It's different, so it's better we interact with other teachers as well. So number 2, increased commitment to the mission and goals of the school. So more often sa ato nabantayan, mo man itong malimtan, di ba? With the mission and goals of the school. Yeah, anhiman ta our say our curriculum guide are in line also with the mission and vision of the school. But as you can see right now, na-align ba ang atong most of our lessons sa ato ang mag-agad ba ang mga teachers sa mission and goals of the school? Di ba mostly dili na? Ato na sa libro magagad, ato na sa book, what am I going to discuss next? What will be my next topic? Inana. So, when you go into PLC, mag-meet mo, with more interaction with the teachers, you're more focused on the mission and the goals of the school. For example, the mission and vision of CIT. Kinsa may nag-memorize, Mr. Giovanni? Mas nakon di ka guna.
The mission, vision, or values. The mission of CIT University to ensure quality instruction, research, and community extension for a total development of technologian is committed in practicing professionalism and in meeting the demands of local and global community.
Woo! Kaya kay Diyos, tulong mo niya. Tulong niya. Siya ba kay kasuwat na no? Very good, Mr. Giovanni, naka-memorize mo ka sa mission and goals of the school. And then, do you think, Mr. Giovanni, sa iyong klase, na-align ba ta sa the mission and goals of the school?
Most of the, I can say that most of the teaching of our faculty here in CIT, I can say that aligned to our mission, which is, like for example, ensure research, diba? We can see that teachers here in CIT are also engaging our students in research. So that is a concrete evidence that our teaching is aligned also to our, just most, not all.
Just most. Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. That's true. Tignan na lang, di ba? So, for example, a school envisions being to create a heaven-like God-centered civilization. That would be the mission and goal of the school. A heaven-like God-centered civilization through the students. Kunya, kung dili ta mag-meet sa ato ang co-teachers and then dili ta mag-collaborate, what will happen to that mission and vision? Mahog na siya o cliche, di ba? Nana dito sa inyong handbook, nana dito, but eventually that will be forgotten. True, Ms. Judy? And then number 3, shared responsibility. What does this mean? Shared responsibility meaning, ikaw nga maestra, you are a science teacher, you are a math teacher, you will not be the only one alone that would go deeper into your lessons, that would make your lesson understandable. And then, for example, Ms. Colliantes is the advisor here of a grade 2 section. And then, naa siya student that needs remediation. So, dili lang siya ang manubag ani nga student. When you go into PLC, you meet with other teachers and then also ask them, in your subject, what does this child, unsa may problema aning bata sa imong subject? Hinay sa ba siya? So ako English teacher ko, I have a difficulty in making the students speak in front of the class. So you, math teacher, maybe as well as in your math class, pwede nimo siyang patatiun sa orally in your class. So bisan in other subjects, you can collaborate with other teachers. So the responsibility given to the child, given to the teacher within the child, ma-share ninyo, dili lang ikaw ang walsa sa imong students. So all together inyo nang i-lift up ang inyong students and the culture of the school. So number 4, powerful learning. Powerful learning. So as Mr. Custodio said a while ago, when you are one with the boat, kung kamo tanan na sa boat are rowing into the same direction, Madali mo gabot, dili.
Madali.
Madali. But then when one, kung sa English ng bugsay, nabinaw ko. When one is rowing to that direction, yang usa ari sad padong dire against matungay yung boat. Gawas ko yung boat, barko, no? Di na kailangan mo doon. So, kung magsupak mo duha, ang usa ari diri mo bugsay, ang usa ari sa diri sa pikas, so doon kayo mo maabot, no? Digin maabot, ipadala mo sa bagyo. But when all of you rows together in one, the same boat, sticks together, kung kamot nyo ha, pag tinabangay, maabot dyan, even when your destination is far. Di ba? Bisa kung sa kalayo ang inyong mangandoy, kung tinabangay mo, makabot dyan. And then, bisa kung sa ka lisod kauto ng usa ka estudyante, naam dyan na even ka ng special students, sa among school na special students, when the teachers collaborate together and even the students, ang classmate anang bata ba? Inyong isabot po na let's love this student, don't bully your classmate, and then as much as possible, guide your classmate in the best way possible. And then after a few months, ang katugaling, after a year, the student before nga magkamang-kamang ilang sa iyang bangko, after a year nga itabangan sa teachers as well as the students, iyang mga classmate, mukhaon siya, magsuri-suri siya sa room. Dili na siya kasamaan sa mga classmate. Ingnan na siya nga, come here Michael, you go inside. After a year, ang katong magkamang-kamang sa lang sa bangko, gialsa na ang bangko. Diba, joke lang. Ang katong nagkamang-kamang sa bangko, maglingkod na siya sa iyang share all throughout the class. Maglingkod na siya. And then, maminaw na siya, and then, behaves like a normal student. You don't expect na magtanaw ka ng bata na special child, gikan dito ng kamang-kamang sa bangko, and then that would behave kasama ng bangko. Behave ka lang. Behave na for the rest of the class. Magana na lang. Diba? So when you are all together rowing in the same direction, you will have a powerful learning. So lastly, increased meaning and understanding of the content. So why do we say that we have increased meaning and understanding of the content? It's because, for example, I am a science teacher, and for example, Miss Joy is a preschool teacher in science, and then Miss Clarice is also a preschool teacher in science. Miss Erica, siya lang hangyo siya. Erica lang, no? Preschool teacher in science. Siya po preschool teacher in science. So, mag-collaborate, mag-meet sa PLC meeting, mangutana ko niya, how do you teach your pre-alim students in science? And how do I teach mine? And how also, if Kate also is a science teacher, unsaon man imong pagtudlopod sa imong science dito sa imong students? So what's your strategy? What's your approach? And this is my approach. And do you think your approach fits better to the child? Na effective ba imong approach sa imong nursery students? Sa akong kinder students? Effective siya gamay pero di man sila mag-cooperate mayo. I think easy na lang kayo para sa kinder. Kasi yung nursery effective. So, unsa man ako, unsa may katambag nako. Kay gikan man ka nursery sa una, what do you advise to me in giving my class to the kinder students, di ba? Dili kay kinder science teacher ka, science teacher sa ganya. Magyahay na lang mo. Di ba? Mao ni mo discuss dira, mao ni mo dira, mao sa mo nga. So yahay na lang dan. Dili na naman ang content, but dili na siya ma-emphasize. Diba? But when you go deeper into the content, science and science, so syempre, science and science, diba? So, destiny, you know? Diba? So, science and science, magkasinabot yun mo, and then you can discuss together in deepening and understanding of the content. And then, so did you get it? Why we need professional learning communities? Anong urgent na dyan na siya karon to improve the teaching learning culture? Did you get it? So, what are the different roles in the... So, before I go to the roles, can we all read this together, please?
Increased student achievement is the indicator of a successful PLC.
So, increased student achievement is the indicator of a successful PLC. For what use is the PLC kung ang student achievement wala ni increase, di ba? But eventually, when the teaching of the teachers musaka, unsa may mahitabo sa learning sa students? Musaka, di ba? So that would be the indicator of the progress of a professional learning community. So next would be the roles in the professional learning community. So thank you for this. This is actually from the notes of a speaker also given by Miss Cheryl Oro. And I thank Miss Oro for that. And the first role in the PLC, the principal assistant or principal subject area coordinators. So in the principal sa atong typical school meetings, a principal mo may magbuod, di ba? So ang iyang role sa principal in the PLC, she will be like the guide and facilitate na lang sa mga teachers. And the next one is the PLC coach or facilitator. So ganina, ang principal is the bigger up one in there. And the next would be the PLC coach or facilitators. So this would be the in charge into the different PLC groups. So you will be grouped into different groups as a PLC. Then each one will have a coach or facilitator, which will be the one to facilitate each meeting. Mo coach, what would be the next move? Unsa may sunod na buhaton? Things like that. And then lastly, the teachers, you yourselves, when you participate in a professional learning community, di siya mahimo kung wala mo ang teachers, di ba? Ito ba mga teachers ang pinaka-important na job in society? Yes. Diba? So even in a professional learning community, di siya mahimo kung wala ang teachers. So that would be all. So now do you understand what are professional learning communities?
Yes.
And why we should get them? And then the different roles, the principal, the PLC coach, and the teachers. So I will now call on Ms. Ariana Kelsey Tuliao to define what are the characteristics of professional learning communities.
Thank you for that very good and long talk, Mr. Luterio. So since we already know what are PLC again, Mr. Pat? Yes.
Professional learning communities.
Please elaborate. Yes, it's correct, but really the definition.
It is a culture in a school wherein the teachers will collaborate each other to assure the learnings, the enhance or the improvements learnings of our learners. That's all.
Thank you. So, PLC, again, is a group of educators who shares their ideas in improving the teaching and learning. And to know more about what are PLC, let's learn or identify what are the characteristics of PLC. So there are 6 characteristics of PLC. Number one is shared mission, values, and goals. So in PLC, it is important that teachers discuss and share their goals with another teachers. It is because they should have unified and clarified goals so that they will know what they expect or what they want or possible outcomes to the students. Like in this university aims graduates to have globally competitive, critical thinker, and independent. So how can the teachers achieve that goal? So they need to discuss on possible strategies on how to achieve that goals. So next is collaborative themes, focus, and learning. So in PLC, there are 2 collaborative themes. The macro groups, which is a large group, which shares general goals and perspectives about PLC. So in here, macro groups of collaborative teams, many schools have PLC and they share one common goal. And second group is the micro group, which is within a group within a group, which means that in a particular school, they share specific goals or a particular faculty or a particular level. And collaboratives is a necessity and useful because it designates the task of the teachers or who have same strategies or techniques in or learning styles in teaching. And it is, imagine, you are the teacher and you give only one task or one project in your student, which your class has 60 students. Imagine, do you think all of them function? But no. Some of them will be DL, not Dean's Lister, but Dawat Limpyo. Because they will think that only 10 to 15 students can make it. They can, mana sila, ay, sayo naman na, like, presentation, like, dramatize, and it doesn't need really large people or large audience, diba? And third one is collective inquiry into best practice and current reality. So you already have the planned out goals and you already have the teams. So in this particular characteristics, you need to discuss with your teachers or co-teachers the possible strategies that you need to apply in your teaching and the conduct of teaching. So like in our generation, it's different. In our, diba, we are already engaged or embracing the new curriculum. So might be in what is applicable in 1980s might not be applicable to the students who are the millennials, diba? So it's important that teachers not only focus one strategies. That's why PLC is important, so that they can discuss or they can make a gap between the traditional and the new curriculum. That's why. And teachers should not be close-minded that what they get used to of the strategies might always be used. So they need also to see and be open to new discoveries of strategies, because that strategies might not be useful to the next lesson. So fourth one is the action orientation and experimentation. So how can you test if the PLC is effective if you don't counterpart or take action of it? So you need to test the effectiveness of PLC. So you need to undergo testing, like if that strategy you discovered is really useful or relevant to the lesson. And the fifth one is commitment to continuous improvement. So as you can see, what you've discovered, discovered strategy, you see that it's effective. You don't stop there. You always search for or improve and improve for strategies, because teachers is not only using one strategy in their lesson. Do you think also in using one strategy can accommodate all lesson? Do you think, Mr. Pat?
No.
Why? Just kidding. So, sixth one is result orientation. So, in PLC, you need to see the concrete evidence that PLC is really improving, or there's a minimal improvement. At least it's improving. At least, or sooner or later, other schools can also apply PLC because they see that the effectiveness of PLC in this school is really useful, and it can enhance the learning and teaching. So they will sooner or later apply it also in their school. So next one is the 4 crucial questions, and also known as the important questions in PLC. The first question is, what do we want each student to learn? As the teachers, we need also like the goals, diba? We set goals of what possible outcomes we want our students to learn. That's why teachers discuss the strategies they will use in this particular level, or like we base also our lessons in a curriculum guide. So we follow spiral progression. That's the level or same topic but the different complexity. It is important that teachers in this particular subject discuss also, so that di gani redundant ang lesson, like what is taught in grade 7 is also taught in grade 10 with the same complexity. It's, di ba, it's not, it should not be, because grade 7 and grade 10 is really different. They have different, so dapat grade 10 mag-discuss kag noun diri, like sige, simple nouns diri sa grade 7, mag-discuss kag simple nouns sa grade 10. So how can they improve? Grade 10. How can they improve, diba? If sorry, if same reg complexity, how can you see the improvement of the grade 10 if kana ra nga lesson or magkuan ka? Dapat kung mag-discuss kag noun diri sa grade 7, in ka grade 10 nila imo application nila nga sa mga literature, word lit ba, ila ba ipangitaon unsa ang noun and gamiton nila ang noun sa or ila i-interpret ang noun, or in the higher order thinking skill, i-dramatize ba nila gamit ang noun, kana mga, di ba? Second is, how will we know when each student has learned it? How can we know as a teacher if our Mayjoy, how can we know that the students have really learned the lesson? How? As a teacher, like you have a discussion, how can we know, or how can we know that the students really learn it?
If they're able to do the activities or given, like for example, the assessments. So the results are kind of and possibly if they can apply this to their
real life situation. Yes, exactly. So to check if they really have learned it, we need to have assessment. It could be a form of formative assessment and summative assessment. And the third one is, what will it do if the students don't learn it? The use of assessment is to check if the students have improved, or the students need to be, or there are areas of the students that need to be improved on. So as a teacher, we need to discuss with other teachers that, like Mr. Areneo said, like what can be your, we have different strategies as a teachers, diba? The teaching strategies. So might be your teaching strategies is applicable to mine, and my teaching strategies is applicable to yours. That's it. And the last question is, what will we do if they already know it? So, we can see the improvement of the students if they already learned it. So we don't stop there. We need to assess the students, because one way also to show that they are really improving, they need to, you as a teacher, you need to assess it, and that they will be able to apply it not just in the paper and pencil test, but also in real life situation. So that's all. Thank you. So let me call on Miss Bernadette. Hi, not yet. Hi, break day, Joe. It's snack time.
So that was the first part of the seminar. Are you still alive? Yes! Are you hungry? Yes! Is it not snack, huh? So you're going to have a break for 10 minutes break. And then the juice will be distributed to you. Wala mong snacks na Jollibee na sa gilid. So gusto burger na biscuit. Ang nalagilid.